Friends, this is Jazz bringing you another For Better or For Worse vlog number 45. Today I got two new strips to show you and one updated version of one of the strips. And the first strip is from July 21st, 2004. So this is your chariot of fire. Mom, I am so pumped. She's like, thank you for letting me ride this bike. I promise I'll drive safely. She's like, I know. She's like, Shauna Marie's boyfriend gave me his jacket and pants. Leather protects you from the wind and the rain. And Ellie's like, and the heat? She's like, like wheeze. That doesn't quite protect her from the heat. But, so, I did start without completely narrating the situation. That might be more appropriate. You could kind of see the situation at this point. I'm starting to come to that. So, one thing I know about this storyline is that for the longest time, Ellie didn't want Elizabeth to ride a motorcycle because she had to get to work, and that was one of her ideas. I think Ellie finally came to the decision to, allow her to, because she was more concerned about the safety of Elizabeth. But wow, Liz being the motorcycle rider, I'm sorry, it's funny how when you see her as a little girl, and then you see her at this, as a woman driving a motorcycle, where even Michael doesn't do that. I think they always joke that technically Elizabeth at this point is the middle child, but the middle child can be a bit of a handful, apparently. I mean, the youngest is probably the worst. I don't know much. I'm an only child, so I've never had any situations. But technically, if I would have been the oldest if my parents had another. And I don't quite fit the expectations of an oldest child. But then again, I'm an only child, so that makes me all three. Maybe if I did have a sibling, I would have been maybe more mature. I don't know. Then again, it all depends on whether my sibling had a disability or not, because if they didn't, they would have been able to grow past me, especially with the only 2-year or 3-year age difference. But anyway, back on topic. Yeah, how do I put this? No, I'd never been, I don't think, on a motorcycle necessarily. I was on a wheeler, a big two-wheeler, but I was never on one alone. When I was a child, I was the passenger, and my older cousin, older to the point where he could have been my father, right, in that way, but my older cousin always drove, and my uncle always drove it, so I was never really the rider itself. But as an, you know what, I can't even ride a bike. Unless it had training wheels on it, I'd be terrified to ride a bike right now. I mean, obviously, if I ever tried, I could learn. And I tried to learn at one point, fell real bad in one area of my road, it traumatized me. Okay, guys, please try not to take traumatized the wrong way. I know there are people who go for real traumatic situations, and I'm not downplaying them, but everyone's traumatic events depend on their personality and who they are. To me, we'll just say that it traumatized me from trying again at this for a while. I mean, maybe I'll be more up to it now. Maybe not. But that was 10 or more years ago, so maybe I'd be better this time around. But, I mean, the point being is that I won't even ride a bicycle, let alone a motorcycle. And trust me, there are plenty of women who do, right? But it's just funny seeing Elizabeth, her as a little girl, remember her as a little girl, and her being the one to ride a motorcycle. I just find that hilarious. And I can't remember whether John convinced Ellie or she just came around herself. Because I couldn't picture John being the one taking Elizabeth's side in that situation, but I think maybe he did. I have no idea. Because, I mean, she's one of his little girls. I mean, of course, April's the baby, but she was the first daughter. So, but as I said, I don't have much experience with motorcycles. I mean, I believe, obviously, Elizabeth's alive. She doesn't seem to get traumatically hurt or anything, so she was careful. right? I mean, at least she can ride a motorcycle. I can't drive anything. Like, I'm usually driven to work when I go to work. Let's get on to the next strip. Final strip is from September 7th, 1982, but also on September 6th, 2011. And Michael, every night I get bugged about homework. Get it done. Do it right. Nag, nag, nag. Dad says it's easy. Mom says it's fun. That's because they don't have to do it anymore. Yeah, guys, I can so agree on that. I mean, how do I put it? When you're a kid, homework, it's work, right? It's not fun. Like, I mean, I guess in some ways, sometimes it can be, but I mean, it's work you have to do in the comfort of your own home. I mean, you're expected to do it in school, which is bad enough, and then you have to once you get home, you think, oh, it's time to relax. Nope, here's a pile of homework. But guys, all seriousness though, it's a double-edged sword. It is boring, it isn't fun, but it is important. When you think about it, this is gearing you up for those, you know what, as much as I label this video not for kids, there's kids. I don't know if Papa shouldn't understand this. Kids will see it. Kids have their ways, they're smarter than you think. But for those kids who happen to have found a way around it and are seeing this, adulthood gets worse. I mean, yes, for me, I'm not one much to talk because I have a disability and things are a little different for me. But someone who is the age that I am normally might have. Not everyone will have kids, though. It's a different day and age now. Some go without having kids, but for the adults at this age with kids, there's the kids to look after. There's a job to hold. There's bills, taxes, which you have to do once a year, which isn't bad as every day, but in a sense of the word, you get worse work when you're an adult than homework. So it is literally gearing you up for even in the smallest way, for what you're to expect as an adult. I mean, kids are always saying, oh, well, I can't wait till I'm an adult. I can do what I want and things will be easier. And for the longest time, I mean, okay, obviously, again, my hurdles aren't as bad as a lot of adults my age. And I am incredibly lucky. But I know from stories I've read and just the general, explanation, because I was in classes that explained things like that it doesn't get easier. Oh, okay, guys. Not saying life will be completely downhill and there's not worth after childhood. There is a lot of worth when you're an adult. Things to look forward to. But when I say doesn't get better, I mean it isn't as, carefree as it looks when you're a child. It's a lot of work. Like, parents don't go and say this around you guys. And honestly, I think maybe not when you're a very young child, but I think once you're at like 8 or 10 and older, parents should sit down with their children and seriously explain that they do a lot to give them what they have and the freedom they have. That their life isn't so perfect and ideal. That way they know, well, they do have it good. Right? When they're old enough to comprehend. Unless the kid already kind of understands that already. I mean, and it's true though. Like honestly, I think their parents in this strip would wish they actually had homework like that, because it'd be far easier than what they have to do now. I mean, once you get to high school, it is close. The work is quite difficult, but the age Michael is there, heck, I would be, if I was given the work he was given to do, I'd be right for it. Right? I mean, I guess I'd rather none than that, but still. Anyway, guys, that was my For Better or For Worse vlog number 45. If you enjoyed this, give it a big thumbs up. And if you're new to this channel and like what you see, please subscribe. It helps this channel a lot. Don't forget to hit the bell notification so you'll know when new videos are coming out. And I will see you guys in my next video.